So within a few hours, we'll get to see the first 2 episodes of AHSOKA, and I personally can't wait. I wanted to do this video because I'm getting a feeling that we're going to hear a lot of people prejudging something they haven't seen yet. And that's not what we as fans should do with stuff. We should watch it, assess it. If we like it, come back for more. If we don't. And don't criticize people who do like it. I mean, that's pretty easy. I think that's basic. But there's a contingency of people in the fandom that have to make remarks about everything and have to do their best to destroy any enthusiasm people have. Now, a lot of people that are complaining have never seen AHSOKA anywhere. They haven't seen Clone Wars, they haven't seen Rebels, and they don't understand her background story. Now, people who have seen it said you don't have to be familiar with the background story, her background, in order to understand what's going on in this. Okay, so that's good. But I'm like, get familiar with the character and watch some of Clone Wars and some of Rebels, and you'll see, because this is where Rebels kind of takes off here, and the visuals I've seen look stunning. The casting was great, and I think it's going to be fantastic. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how they mesh what we know of with the New Republic, and Mon Mothma, and the struggle to rebuild the Republic, Leia, how they're going to put that story, which is actual Star Wars, in with this niche show, okay? And it's also part of that story because of who Ahsoka Tano is and her connection to the Skywalkers, but I'm going to get into that in a little bit. I want to address the black pills and the black pill blobs. Please be quiet. Don't say anything about the show until people have seen it. No one cares if you're not going to see it. You don't have an opinion if you haven't. I'm sick and tired of hearing people, you've got at least one on one channel, one so-called big Star Wars fan, who basically tells everybody he's never seen Clone Wars. Shut up. I mean, I binge watched all 6 episodes, all 6 seasons in about 3 days when I got the Blu-rays. And, there you go, okay? And if you hear something squeaking in the background, Kojak has his green pig. We're all saved. Anyway, I'm really, kind of like, stop it. Let people watch the show and have fun, okay? I mean, we get to see one of the greatest, I think, villains in sci-fi fantasy history ever written, Grand Admiral Thrawn, all right? Played by a truly great actor, Lars Mikkelsen. I mean, this guy is going to be a blast to see, okay? And it's going to be interesting where they take him and what they're doing with him. Because I'm going to say this. If we get anything that sort of looks like it's a sequel trilogy, he and the sequels cannot coexist. And one has to go. And if anybody is the one to get rid of Project Necromancer or whatever that is, it's going to be Thrawn. Because he's the boss. Okay? And that shit cannot coincide with his story. Okay? Because his story is vastly better than the sequel trilogy. And it's going to end up replacing it, okay? So get ready for that, because this guy, look, Grand Admiral Thrawn, he's not Force sensitive, But think of Napoleon. All right, think of a tactician and a strategist on that level. Okay, think of, this is so great, Kojak. Anyway, sorry guys. Think of somebody with such an intellect for tactics and strategy and being able to really look at the battlefield, or in this thing, ship-to-ship fighting and tactics in small fleet combat, and you will have a guy that could possibly bring the New Republic to its knees, and he doesn't have to take Coruscant. All right, he doesn't have to go to Coruscant, and that's one of the things about Thrawn that makes him so unstoppable. And of course, he's got people that work with him. Morgan Elspeth, we saw her in Mandalorian season 2. She is one of the witches from Dathomir. Okay, she's a dark side witch. Okay, and she's going to be quite the thorn in Ahsoka's side. She does get away, and it seems like that Morgan Elspeth is trying to open up a portal. And you got to remember that the witches of Dathomir were in Clone Wars, and Asajj Ventress went to them for help to get revenge on Count Dooku for basically betraying her. And then we got, of course, we're going to see Zeb Orrelios, who was one of the characters in Rebels. He's an interesting guy. He's kind of like the Chewbacca of the gang. So that'll be cool. And then we're going to, what I can't wait to see is the late Ray Stevenson as Balin, the Dark Jedi, who, of course, escaped Order 66. Now, George has said, so if it comes from George, it's real, that 100 Jedi, maybe 60 Jedi had escaped Order 66, and obviously Balin and his Padawan learner were two that did. Of course, we know that Quinlan Vos did, and there's some speculation that somehow Mace Windu survived being force lightninged by Sidious and thrown out the Chancellor's office window to fall miles and miles down to the lowest parts of Coruscant. Okay, whatever. But this is where it gets interesting, because in Heir to the Empire, there were no Sith in any of those three novels. We had a dark Jedi clone of Joruus Sabio, however you pronounce his name. And I kind of think that Balin is going to take that role. He works with Morgan Elspeth, so we'll see how that goes. Again, it breaks my heart that Ray Stevenson is gone. I've loved him as an actor ever since Rome, and knowing he's not with us anymore just is heartbreaking as it can be, because he was not only a great actor, he was so handsome. But let's talk about what Ahsoka is, I think, going to really be about. And that is her connection to Anakin and the need to find Ezra Bridger. Okay?
You underestimate my power! Don't try it! Anakin, Chancellor Palpatine is evil! From my point of view, the Jedi are evil! Well, then you are lost!
You were right.
have to go back to the Clone Wars. The first episode of the show, Anakin is given a Padawan learner by Yoda, and it's Ahsoka Tano, Togruta girl who was discovered by Plo Koon. And I really thought that she should have been the replacement Padawan for Obi-Wan. Okay, and Obi-Wan and Anakin are still friends, and they go on missions together. That's how they're connected. But she's Anakin's Padawan. And at first, when we first started watching it, she's really annoying. In fact, I remember hating her. And then as you're watching it and you get into Rebels, you start to see that the character really is interesting. And now the reason why this is important to know that she's connected that way to Skywalker is because in some ways, does she blame herself for him falling to the dark side? She does get into a fight with Vader and discovers he's Ahsoka, or he's Anakin. And she realizes, I think, that she couldn't have saved him, but Vader blames her partially for leaving him, abandoning him. Okay. And so this, again, it's Anakin's confusion, Anakin's immaturity, his childishness, and his inability to understand what he was doing is his fault. Okay. What he was doing was not taking the lessons that Obi-Wan set out for him, that Yoda did, that the other older Master Jedi did. Okay. He wasn't even taking the lessons that his own Padawan taught him. Okay. And looking at them, they're like brother and sister again. This is not, when you see them, they're not master and apprentice as much as they're kind of brother and sister. They have nicknames for each other. She calls him Sky Guy, and he calls her Snips. And maybe we'll get him to call her Snips. But I'm hoping we do get to explore her acceptance of the fact that even if she hadn't left, she would never have been able to, that even if she had not walked away, he still would have fallen to the dark side because it was bigger than her. Okay, and that's what we're going to get. We're going to get the other things, her search for Ezra, which is, I think, very prevalent in the show. Hopefully we'll get to see Anakin as a Force ghost and in flashbacks. Hopefully we'll get to see other things going on that connect her and the show to the main storyline, which is Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and Leia. Okay, because they're going to have to do something about smoothing this out. Because again, Grand Admiral Thrawn and who he is cannot coexist side by side with Palpatine the clone and Kylo Ren the dog-faced boy and the bestest Eva Rey. He can't. So let's see what happens. And again, watch it with your own, with an open mind. Do not come to me and tell me you didn't watch it because fuck Disney, because I will ban you from this channel. Okay? I am done dealing with black pills, black pill blobs, and negative assholes that got a shit in everybody's, on everybody's dinner every time something good is happening. It started out with Boba Fett, and we had the big statement about, well, if Kenobi isn't good, basically the ultimatum. It's like, fuck you, okay? But I don't want to get into that. Watch it with your mind open, okay? And remember, It is not women power, okay? Who gives a shit if the characters are women, all right? Just watch the show, have fun, or fuck off, okay? Because I'm done. This is Steph, signing out. I'll see you around the galaxy.